somebody is not able to decide in the college days, okay, I want to go to CAPF, he decides after completing his degree, whatever it is, arts or engineering. So what is the standard time he needs to have for the preparation of CAPF? How many years he need to devote after the college? Can you share your daily routine? How did you start your day and how did you make a timetable to finish your targets? Kindly go through your daily routine, sir. So let's break the entire paper 1 and paper 2. So there are 7 sections in paper 1. Let's start with polity. So what is the good source to complete polity, sir?
I used to do this whenever I finish a topic. I used to create 20-25 questions on that topic myself. Over and above NCERT, you have that additional edge. So these kind of extra book reading will also help you in paper 2, where you have to give descriptive answers. Because I used to think very faster but write very slower, which I lost a lot of time in comprehending the answer and creating a flow in the answer.
So one can start preparation from the college days with the help of newspaper and basic textbook like NCERTs. So sir, if somebody is not able to decide in the college days, okay, I want to go to CAPF, he decides after completing his degree, whatever it is, arts or engineering. So what is the standard time he needs to have for the preparation of CAPF? How many years he need to devote, sir, after the college?
After college, I would say like each of them will have their individual caliber.
Yes, sir.
So we cannot give a general one-size-fits-all approach. So given your grasping power, your intelligence, the level of hard work you're willing to put, because some people work 2 hours a day, some people work 12 hours a day. So if you are going to devote your entire time to this, and I think 6 to 8 months of preparation is good enough to clear this exam, if you are exclusively preparing.
Okay, sir. So can you share your daily routine? How did you start your day and how did you make a timetable to finish your targets? Kindly go through your daily routine, sir.
Yeah, my routine used to be immediately I divided my preparation for paper 1 and paper 2 separately. So mostly the first half of the day would be for paper 1 and second half of the day for paper 2 along with newspaper. So I used to read newspaper at the end of the day because if I start with the newspaper, it used to take a lot of time for me.
Yes, sir.
So I went with this kind of approach. It's not like everyone have their own success mantra. So mine was like this. And for paper 1, like I said, the standard books, that is the NCERT. And apart from NCERT, also you can push it a little bit further with books like Indian Economical. We have Ramesh Singh, and there is also Shankar Ganesh for Indian economy, and for polity we have Lakshmikant. So those kind of standard books, if you could cover more over and above NCERT, you have that additional edge. So these kind of extra book reading will also help you in paper 2, where you have to give descriptive answers. You'll be able to quote some of the famous economists or famous politicians on their statements, famous leaders. So that could give you that edge over the other aspirants. So second half of the day, I used to do writing practice. So that writing practice, I would say I had to brush up my English a little bit, because when I was doing engineering, we take notes, but it's purely technical. So we don't write long essays for 6 pages and all in engineering. We just answer questions, solve problems, a lot of mathematics involved. So after a long gap, I again have to start writing essays on paper. So second half I used to do that, and I think my vocabulary was enriched by the editorial pages of newspapers. So that helped me, and writing. And initially I had a lot of mismatch between my thought process and my writing. So to bring both of them in sync, I had to practice a lot, because I used to think very faster but write very slower, which I lost a lot of time in comprehending the answer and creating a flow in the answer. So for that I had to practice a lot. I had to read a lot of essays, and a lot of editorials, which help me make the thought process streamlined and make a bullet points of all the things of the all the thoughts that come to my mind, and then I expand on that in the paper.
So your hard work has really paid off, and you have become assistant commandant in CISF, sir. So let's break the entire paper one and paper two. So there are 7 sections in paper one. Let's start with polity. So what is the good source to complete polity, sir?
Polity, the standard books of NCRT along with Lakshmikant, that is enough. Along this should be complemented by the daily developments that's happening with the newspapers. News reading is very must as far as polity is concerned, because political developments happen on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's it.
You cannot just read a static book. It is a dynamic concept, so it has to be complemented by newspaper. That is good enough for polity.
Second is economy. Where to do economy, sir?
Economy also, you start from 9th to 12th NCRTs, you cover all those things.
Okay, sir.
Indian economy, and then for coming to standard books, you can refer to Ramesh Singh as well as Shankar Ganesh, and the common economic commentary on the newspapers.
Do we need to cover economic survey and budget also for the exam?
Economic survey and budget is a must.
Okay.
It is a must as far as preparation for the economy is concerned,
Yes, sir.
because they are the policy documents for the next 1 year or the policy documents of the previous 1 year. So I would advise everybody to pay utmost attention to what economic survey and budget says, and you could expect a lot many questions from that part.
Sir, third is geography. Where to complete geography from?
As far as geography is concerned, there is a book called Goching Leo. So if you want in-depth understanding, you can refer that, and then supplemented with NCRTs and newspapers. The latest developments include, like if they have found a new endangered species, or if they have changed the classification of one species from this to that, or
Yes.
something like that. For those kind of things, you have to follow the news. And geography, more than geography, I would say environment part of geography
right,
is
sir.
very vital. So environment, what all the developments happening in environment part, the conferences happening, the conventions that have taken place, the outcome of those conventions.
So where to do all these things from Google?
Like I said, newspapers is a good source, and sometimes when I don't get enough time to take notes from the newspapers, I used to do monthly compilations
Of an institute?
of any institute available in the market. You can do those monthly compilations, and they are compiled as per topic: polity,
Yes.
economy, environment. So with geography, you will read a lot of things which needs repeated going through, because you cannot just get it through your head, because it will be a complicated name or a complicated
Yeah, right, sir.
statement or complicated convention. So you have to do rereading, revision. So for that, I use monthly compilations.
Sir, history is just one subject which really big headache, especially when it comes to ancient history and medieval history. So, sir, where did you complete your history part? All the 3 parts?
History part, actually, the reason why people find it difficult is because the content is so huge.
Yes, sir.
The content, there is so much content, and it needs a lot of reading, and even after reading multiple times, people will find it difficult to remember certain things. So for that, I think people need to find a way. What I used to do is, like, I try to understand the timeline of how things happen, so that I could see, I could put different persons, different places, and different developments in a mind map. So that okay, first this happened and then this happened. So when you make it like that, it becomes a stack, and you can go back and realize a lot of other things which happened along with that and how it affected. So this helps in overall analysis of a historical event. So this is how I used to do it. And histories, I totally relied on only NCRTs, because NCRTs are a very good source. And that is only the previous year questions that I went through also. They were quite from NCRTs, so I did not go for anything outside for history.
Okay, sir. So one subject is general science. which is very marks fetching, and more than 20 marks sometimes are asked directly. More than 20 questions are asked. So, what have been your source for general sciences, sir?
General science, I had a fairly simple source, and general science, if you are from a background of science background student, then you wouldn't have much problem in approaching those questions. But if you're from a different background, then I would advise you to read the Lucent's general science book. So that they release every year. It will have the basic common scientific concepts that is needed for you to go through. So that helped me a lot. But apart from that, NCRT science books, they also have very vital information from exam point of view. So that could help you in the general science preparation.
And so the last part for paper 1 is general mental ability. So where did you complete it, sir?
So general mental ability, as far as I'm concerned, I did the previous year questions on those parts. The general mental ability, in that also there are different parts in general mental ability. So for that, there are specific books available in the market. So you can do that, or you can do a previous year compilation of all the CAPF question papers, which will help you understand, because there the question repeats itself for the most part.
Yes, sir.
And with different values, different numbers. But overall, the theme of those questions are the same, which I realized after going through like 4 or 5 previous year papers. So I would advise you to go through those questions, and if you think you want to challenge yourself more than that, you can go for any general mental ability book available in the market.
So you have really well said about all the sources of all these 6 to 7 papers. So the last part is about paper 1, how to solve MCQs, because we saw in 2024 the trend of exam has fairly changed. It has become more dynamic. It has evolved more. So how to cover MCQs and how to solve MCQs with more accuracy, sir?
The trend right now is going towards more analytical. Instead of asking what is directly there in the book, now UPSC wants you to think more before answering the MCQ. So in that sense, what I would advise is, once you read a topic, once you completely finish a topic, you start asking questions on that yourself. You set questions on that yourself, because I used to do this. Whenever I finish a topic, I used to create 20-25 questions on that topic myself. So that helps me to think like a question setter as well as the aspirant. That's when both of them meet, and it helps me understood, okay, if they want to mislead me with this statement, then I should think like this. So like that, I used to create questions on whatever I read. So it reinforced whatever I read. So that makes me remember it for a longer time.
That is a very unique approach to frame your questions from yourself after studying a different topic or after studying a different subjects. So till now, sir has discussed about the paper 1, the sources of paper 1, how to solve MCQs more accurately, and the unique thing which sir has shared with us, that after completing each chapter or each subject, you need to frame MCQs from your own perspective so that you can understand the psychology of question setters. So now we will come to the paper 2. So as you told one thing, that to enrich your vocab, you read a lot, and to make your writing good, you wrote a lot. So the first thing in paper 1 is essay, and most of our candidates find very difficult to write an essay. There are 4 essays. So how to cover essays and how to prepare essay for the perspective of exam?
So for essay preparation, what I used to do was, like I said, I went through a lot of newspapers, but that can only give you information. But how you are presenting it, that itself is a skill, an art, I would say. So once you decide on a topic that you are going to write on this topic, you have to have a proper introduction, and then you have to cover the body with relevant things, and then you have to give a proper conclusion. So I had 3 different techniques for an introduction. So for instance, if I'm starting on a philosophical essay topic, then I will start it with a quote. So for that, I had some standard quotes. So 10 or 15 quotes which I could use on multiple occasions or on multiple topics. So either I would start with a quote, or number two, my second way of starting an essay would be starting it with a statistic. So statistic, for example, if I'm writing an essay about tuberculosis, so I would say like 1 out of 4 people in India is suffering from this disease.
Tuberculosis
Yeah,
disease.
or 1 out of 3 persons suffering from tuberculosis all over the world is from India. Like that, I would start with a statistic, and third way was giving definition straight. If they are asking about something like crisis of conscience, I will say what is crisis of conscience in my introduction. So I had these 3 different ways of starting an essay, and then the content. Content, I think you shouldn't have any problem once you have prepared enough. You should know the how to go about an essay. I used a spelt approach. So spelt approach.
So what is spelt approach, sir? Spelt approach.
Spelt approach, I'll tell you, it is the different ways of relating to the topic.
Okay, sir.
So S stands for sociologically connecting it, P for political, E for economical, L for legal, and T for technological. If you could cover these 5 perspectives about a topic, that topic is done. You have given an all-around answer. So that is what I used to do in the body. So you go for spelt approach, even if you could not think of, even if you leave 1 or 2 perspectives, your essay would be fairly all around. You have covered all points, because I have seen essays, people writing essays, and they will cover only one perspective, political perspective of that thing. But there is also economic perspective of everything, technological perspective of everything. So I would advise people to give a more balanced and well-rounded answer, which ultimately will fetch you good marks.
So this was the approach of sir to complete an essay. As sir told, to start an essay, we can use 3 points: a good quotation, a good statistics, or the definition of the essay. In the main body, we have to go through the spelt approach, which is social, political, economical, legal, and technological. And then we have to conclude the essay from a future perspective. And for this, sir has ready-made some good quotes, some stats with them. So now coming forward from essay, so what should be the approach to write good arguments? There are 2 arguments which are asked in the exam. How to write good arguments?
The good argument writing is a tricky part, and you cannot take a stand in that. You have to give both for as well as against. And once you have read enough, you can think from both perspectives. Once you have read, there are editorials which talk about the same topic in 2 different ways. So those kind of readings actually help me in thinking from both the perspectives. You actually have to put yourselves in the shoes of for and in the shoes of against.
Yes, sir.
And you can easily come up with good arguments. And even in arguments, I would suggest you to use the spelt approach.
Spelt approach.
Yeah.
In argument also.
Yeah, in argument also, because you cannot talk about one thing is good because of only one reason. You have to be able to say why it is good from a sociological angle, political angle, why it makes sense economically. So like that, you can once you run out of things to think about, you can think from this perspective. These are like what to say, a torchlight. They show you the direction. They will show you, the spell will show you how to think, and use that in the topic and come up with better arguments.
So in the argument part, sir also told to make your argument a balanced argument for and against, and to make it multidimensional, we should also use spelt approach, as sir told in the case of essays. So this spelt approach can be an panacea for writing a good essay and for writing a balanced argument. Sir, in the passing reference, there are 3 parts. One is essay writing, one is paragraph, and one is report. So what should be the way of course for all these 3 things?
For these 3 things, I would advise you to use the book called General English by
Okay.
Arihant. So they have enough topics on that. You practice each part, and the pre writing. For that, for pre writing, you need to have a good vocabulary to bring a lot of things smaller. So once your vocabulary gets stronger, you can easily do that. So for those things you need practice, and with enough mock tests you can achieve a very really good score.
And the last part is grammar, which consists about 25 marks. So how to cover grammar part from?
So grammar part also, for that also I relied on the general English book from Arihant. So they have it for each and every topic. They have good question bank which help me go through them, and even for a few parts I referred previous year questions to see the pattern, because the pattern is fixed. So 5 questions are going to come from a preposition, or 5 questions from idioms, like that. The pattern is fixed, so you can you just have to get enough practice in that. So starting may it will be difficult for people who are new to this, but once you get used to it, to practice, it will be easier. And those are the best areas where you can score and overtake a lot of people. So don't lose any marks in grammar, because in grammar it's not like they will give you half mark or that. Either it is right or it is wrong. And once you get right, you get the full marks. It's not like essay. Essay where nobody gets full marks. But in grammar, if you're right, you are going to get full marks, and you should always aim above 22 out of 25 in grammar.
So as sir told, the cost benefit of grammar part is very more. We should try to score more than 22 marks out of 25 marks in grammar. And as sir discussed, the strategy is fairly simple. You have to rely on one general English book. Apart from it, for paper 2, we should rely on newspaper for content. We should do a lot of writing practices, and one panacea-built approach for essays and also for argument writing. So as we have discussed the strategy of paper 1 as well as strategy of paper 2.